It's Wednesday and it's that time of the week where we walk through a new or an old deck. We have a flip through, we have a walk through, and we just hang out for 20-25-ish minutes, give or take. So grab a snack, grab a drink, and we will get into this walkthrough Wednesday. Hello my loves, so today we are going to flip through Heaven and Earth Tarot, and this is by, I'm not going to butcher the name, but it's the Los Scarabeo deck. It was so kindly sent to me by Llewellyn to show you guys here for our walkthrough Wednesday, and it's so nice to hang out with you. I hope you are well. I hope this week has gone your way, and if it hasn't, I hope it does go your way. So we are going to flip through this mini pocket edition of the Heaven and Earth Tarot. I don't have the full edition. I'm assuming it is still in print. I hope so. I am loving mini decks at the moment. I think they are the most adorable, cutest little thing ever, and they're so handy to pop into your handbag, because I'm not one for carrying full-size decks in my bag. My bag is actually too small, which is very unusual for me because I would always have been the one with the big handbag. But this looks so lovely. Look at this little two-piece box. So it is in English. Oh my goodness, is that Portuguese or Spanish? Italian, no, French. That's Portuguese, that's Spanish, and I'm not sure what that one is, but we shall have a look at the guidebook. So it is a two-piece little box, which is really, really nice. Oh, no. There's more plastic. So this is this one. And I think, yes, these come with little tabs that I just pulled off. Okay. Well, that clearly didn't go to plan, and that wasn't very satisfying, was it? That was a bit anticlimactic, wasn't it, they say? Here's some paper ASMR for you. That's not even paper, that's plastic. So we have our teeny tiny little deck. How adorable is this? So let's have a look at the guidebook. It's this, I think this is the smallest little white guidebook I've ever seen. Is this smaller than the Runic Tarot? I wonder, the mini. So we have English, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, French, and is that Polish? Russian? I'm not sure. So you guys can tell me in the comments below. So we have, as above, so below. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened and do not be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. So it's Joshua 1:9. So I'm assuming this is an excerpt from the Bible. The Heaven and Earth Tarot brings forth the glory of the heavens in a way in which we can connect to it on a daily basis. This deck is for people who see the divine in the everyday. So it's not really religious in that aspect, so I can see so far, but it's more about connecting with the divine. So we all believe there's something. Okay, if you've followed my channel, I'm assuming we're going to have, to some extent, the same views, that there is a power that is bigger than us in play, right? So whether you call that God, the universe, maybe you prefer to think of it as gods and goddesses, whatever it is that really fits in here. This deck is for people, sorry, so I read that. Oh my gosh, the writing is so teeny tiny. Look here, can you see how small that is from here? So the connections between the mundane and the spiritual appear in every card of the deck. The artwork in this deck blends the images of the Waite-Smith system with the deeper occult wisdom of a thought deck. Okay, interesting. So each card highlights the connection between the heavenly correspondences, so the Hebrew alphabet, as well as the meaning of the tarot. The images shine the light on ways to see more clearly how the earthly factors unite with the heavens in the mundane world. The cards bring into focus ideas and images that may seem unclear, but once the connections are made, the messages can come through to each person who reads this deck. So the deck, not differently from the 1909 tarot, by Arthur Edward Waite and Pamela Coleman Smith follows sometimes a Christian symbolism. Okay, so again, maybe for some of you, maybe for some of you, may not be for some of you, that's totally fine. Okay, so we have our major cups, pentacles, wands and swords, how to use the deck, and I think that is it as far as explanations go. Short, sweet, to the point. I can appreciate that. So we have a title card here. So these are the backs. They're quite, we'll say, flimsy, but yeah, they're definitely like a flexy card of a thinner cardstock. I just want to see. They're definitely a little bit thicker than what a low Scarabée deck would be, because I do have some of their decks where there'd be a little bit, thinner in that aspect. So I'm just going to bring it up to you guys because I'll be brutally honest, this is very, very small. I have the Phantasma Tarot, so you guys can get an idea of like how dainty this deck is. Look at her. She's so small. She's very cute. So she's only about that big, card-wise. So this may not suit people who need the bigger cards to see. But if you have this deck, you know, maybe being able to put it in order and then having the smaller deck to be able to do bigger spreads and then picking the cards, maybe that might, I'm not really sure, but I'm curious as to how this deck is going to fit in. Okay. Also, just a little background story. Let me take a sip of my coffee. So I grew up in a very Catholic Ireland, okay? So I was baptized, I did my communion, my confirmation, the whole lot. So the Christian concept or the Catholic concept isn't new to me. It's not something that's unfamiliar. I wouldn't say I'm the most familiar with it, but I'm definitely obviously aware of it. Again, I grew up in a very Catholic Ireland many moons ago. It's not like that anymore. But I remember as a kid, I really did thoroughly enjoy doing my communion and my confirmation, and I liked the religious aspect. And then as I got older, obviously things changed, and that's life and that happens. But I do find myself still having great respect for it all the same, even if I do have my own viewpoints on it. For the reason being is my nanny was very religious and she had great faith and in her own way was spiritual, but from a very religious standpoint. So I do appreciate that very much. I like the way that we can blend all of it together. It's really, really nice to see others really embrace that aspect of themselves and not being afraid to show it. I don't think you should be. So yeah, again, it may be for some of you and not for others, and that is totally fine. I still think we can appreciate the artwork all the same. I mean, I'm fascinated by stained glass windows. I think churches are absolutely phenomenal. Some of them architectural wise are out of this world, how beautiful they are. I mean, we went to Malta there 2 years ago and the churches there are, I couldn't even describe them to you. They're just stunningly beautiful. And then of course I also like looking at the Stations of the Cross. The artwork is again so beautifully depicted, something that was obviously very tragic at the same time. So aside from all of that, that was a rant. Well, not a rant, but we shall get into the cards, shall we? I don't blame you if you skipped ahead. So we're getting into the cards now. And again, these remind me very much of like how, you know, the religious pictures are depicted. Is that correct way to say it? Like, again, these remind me of, in a sense, of how the Stations of the Cross are placed and how they're depicted in the church. And I remember even as a child I loved looking at them because I was fascinated. I just find that the fact that somebody painted these was very fascinating to me. I really loved that kind of, what's the word I'm looking for here? I don't want to say it's not washed out, but it's kind of like blurred, and these pop out more than the background. I'm hoping you can see. I'm very sorry if this is far out. I'm going as close as I can. So we can see like the Hebrew element to it, and then we can also see the elements depicted in this. So I do feel like if you're curious maybe about Christianity, and I do think some of the stories in the Bible are lovely to read if you remove the religious aspect to it and you just read it with, say, like a book or a story, then I do think there's a lot to be learned from it. But you don't have to, I believe anyway, personally, in my opinion, that you don't have to follow it to be able to appreciate it at the same time. Oh, there we have like the Ankh, is that what it's called? That is a very pretty deck card. I know, yeah. Who'd think? I always find the deck card in tarot very interesting sometimes. I sometimes love how it's depicted. Might be odd for some, but... Okay, so we have a little bit of nudity. So that's very, very devil-like, isn't it? Very much how we'd say even the Bible would probably describe the devil. I'm curious as to if you want to share in the comments, feel free, but how do you visualize the devil? Is it like the Christian concept, or is it kind of your own thing that you've kind of depicted in your head that you're kind of like, yeah, that's what the devil really for me? Or is it more, okay, boobs, but is it more a, inner torment? Maybe we find the devil in that. So I'd be curious to hear how you visualize the devil when you see that word. What way do you visualize it? I suppose I would kind of visualize it kind of a little bit still Christianity, Catholicism, only because again it's very much rooted. I mean, I went to Catholic school from primary to secondary, so you're talking, what's that, 6, 7, 8, 14 years of that being kind of what you grew up looking at and listening to. So again, you're going to have that kind of concept. But I think also I'm still on the devil, even though I've started with the Ace of Cups. I also think sometimes the devil can be something that, whether it be temptation, okay, so it can be tempting to maybe get caught up in things, or tempting to, go against your intuition, or, maybe only not be opening to hearing other things. I suppose that could be kind of falling in the devil. I suppose it's more about temptation more than anything else, but, sometimes I do think we have our own little inner devil. Maybe it's a little red devil that sits on your shoulder saying horrible, meaningful things, which I suppose in one sense we could also say is kind of our ego. So, I'm curious. Just curious, that's all. No more to it. Excuse me. Or maybe you see it as somebody in your own life. I am loving this imagery. Oh my goodness. I wasn't sure whether I was going to or not, if I'm being honest, because it's not something I would necessarily pick up. But there's something a little bit nostalgic for me at the same time. Again, it reminds me of my school days and how these images, and I also like this art style. I'm very much into art. Why is this not focusing? I would be very much into artwork, and I love appreciating especially old style, Renaissance style time. Princess of Cups. Okay, is that a dolphin? Oh, cool. That kind of style. I remember going to the Louvre when I was 16 in transition year. For somebody who hated school, I did an extra year in secondary school. You go figure that one. As an adult, I still can't figure out why I did. I think mainly because I was going to be young when I finished school. I was a bit too young finishing secondary school, but yeah, we went to Paris, and I could have spent the whole week walking around the Louvre. I love the artwork. It's been many years since I was in Paris, since I've been very fortunate to go a few times, so I will one day go back again, and I will definitely spend more time at the Louvre. Oh, see, it's kind of like the stained glass. It is. It's not just kind of like, it is. And I love that, because I remember we went to Notre Dame as well. And oh my gosh, I'm getting all the feels here for this. It's actually reminding me very much of Paris. Not that I think this is based in Paris by any means, but there's something, again, the churches, I just really love. When we have some beautiful churches here in Ireland as well. And I remember reading in, oh gosh, what's it called? Old Ways, Old Secrets, by, I can't think of the author's name, but it's all about pagan Ireland and how a lot of the churches would actually be built on sacred grounds here in Ireland. So that's very interesting. I kind of go, okay, that kind of makes sense why I really do enjoy, I find something very peaceful about being in churches. It's interesting up there. Oh, cool. Okay. How come I didn't turn that one over? These are so incredibly dainty. My camera is actually having a little bit of a challenge here trying to focus. Oh my goodness, how stunning is this? Okay, I do feel like I'm going to have to do a lot of Googling for elemental aspects of this. I will admit straight off the bat, it is definitely Rider Waite-Smith, so I could definitely fit the meanings behind that. But I'm also curious as to what the big guidebook would say. But I don't know there's a warrant, if I'm being honest, to get the full-size deck just for the big guidebook. So I'm going to have to work with this definitely to see, maybe intuition-wise, how is... Oh, I love seeing a panther. I'm curious to see how, I'm curious to see how this would fit in my practice, but I'm also kind of going, okay, what oracle deck could I pair with this? It's definitely very like a periodic time as well. So there's nothing really modern about this, which doesn't bother me. I actually particularly enjoy decks that are of a different time period. I prefer it nearly. I love the way there's like little subtle depictions. Again, it reminds me very much of the beautiful artwork. So we shall shuffle up and we will see. What's how it shuffles. I think even for my small hands this is going to be a little bit more challenging, but that's okay. Okay, let's see. Oh, that's not bad. I thought it might be a little too small for me to shuffle, but no. It seems to be okay. I'm not even going to riffle shuffle. I don't think I can. I can barely do it with a regular size deck, not mind a mini. So this is actually quite comfortable for my small hands, to be honest. Okay. So, oh, we have two. Now, it's not shuffled the best. I still need to go back. So we have the 7 and 8 of Pentacles, but we actually have them this way. Let me go closer for you. Okay. I feel like I'm definitely... There's something going on in this brain of mine, right? Of what's coming up, but I do think I need to sit down with pen and paper. I feel a little under pressure on camera now trying to to get this out for Pentacles. So we have 7. So we have 8 first, which is perfect patience. Where are we? Perfect your craft. Sorry. Encouragement, discipline, skill, and time. Patience. perfect your patience. There we go. And 7 is make sustainable choices, gather your resources, and enjoy the harvest. So I suppose, yes, this would be a reminder to be patient. Your time will come, but be patient. Some things are worth the time and the effort, and it's a little bit more work, but perfect your patience. So again, thank you so much to Llewellyn for sending this my way, and I will make sure to tag Llewellyn's website where you can get it. Not affiliated, can I just add that? But just want to say that again, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Let me know your thoughts on this deck. I'm assuming you probably can get it all in the usual places, really. I'm sure if you Google it, you'll be able to find it anyway. And as always, thanks so much for hanging out with me. It's always lovely to spend a Wednesday with you. I really do thoroughly enjoy this series so much. Oh my goodness, I thought I was going to yawn. And as always, I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you are. And remember, no, that was wrong. Wonderful day, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. And remember, stay magical, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye, guys.